really exciting stuff today. We have Paul and Paulina from the Dr. Rath Foundation, and they're going to give us some feedback as to their passion for the organization. Tell us a bit about the Dr. Rath Health Foundation. So Paul, we met a long time ago. It seems like it's probably 2 years ago by phone, and it was so exciting to meet you last year when you came for our conference.
Yeah.
But tell our viewers, and though we had an interview with you on our radio show, which was absolutely brilliant, we have in our database. So we'll put a link down so you guys can hear a bit about Paul back. Was it 2 years ago? But yes, could you tell our viewers a bit about who is Paul Taylor?
Right. Well, okay. So my role in our organisation, I'm the executive director of the foundation, and I've been working with Dr. Rath now for 15 years. My background isn't actually in health at all, as I was telling you last night. My background is actually in the music industry.
Yes.
So for 20 years, I was a professional session player. And I worked with a lot of major artists, Paul McCartney and Brian Ferry and Bill Withers and The Verve and loads and loads of bands and things. And in the middle of that career, I fell ill. As I was telling you last night, I got sick with a sort of a chronic fatigue, ME sort of illness. There was never a label put on it, but it was always sort of put into that sort of bag, And I got well through learning about natural approaches and diet and nutrition and things. And after I got well again, at some point I realised that I was actually in better health than before I got sick. And this was profoundly sort of important to me. It was contrary to almost everything that I'd learned or I thought I'd learned before. And that sort of opened my mind to the possibility that there were other ways of looking at health, and I remember I started at the time to write to my MP and my member of the European Parliament, and I think even to Margaret Thatcher and things, and the Department of Health and things. Right. So I started getting all these letters back, and gradually it dawned on me that some of them were just ignorant, some of the responses were just ignorant, same as I had been before. But some of them were definitely aware of the things I was saying, but they were being pretty politely deceitful, And this again opened up another sort of little window in my understanding, because I thought, well, if they're lying to me about that, meaning they being the government, sort of thing, what else might they be lying to me about? And that sort of journey, really, in short, is what brought me here today.
Excellent.
That journey, when I met Dr. Rath in 2002, I guess I was sufficiently open to the possibility that there may be other ways of looking, not just at health, but other ways of looking at the world as well. And I guess that journey is a journey that in different ways we're all on today.
Yes. So thank you for that, Paul. Paulina, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yes, my journey is not as exciting as Paul is. But I think as long as we all have the same goal and we're heading the same direction, it's the most important. I graduated with a public health degree, so I already have some kind of health background. I found this job after my university. I've been working here 3.5 years already, and recently, not even a half year ago, we started to work closely with Paul in the foundation and getting involved in a movement of life. I'm coordinating movement of life activities together with Paul. And what's the most important in here is that this organization is different than the others. This organization really have the scientific background. We don't just we take the information that we take. We first do research, and we prove it, and then we're talking about a certain directions that we're taking. And what is also different is that we are non-profit, and what we do really matters to us, because we really don't seek any profit of what we are doing, anything from the others. So I think it's really heartwarming, and I'm proud of being part of this organization and to do what we do, and to really change world and change lives of many people.
Yes, yeah. So as you've already mentioned, tell us a bit more about the Dr. Rath Health Foundation and what you actually do. We heard, you know, the ethics behind what you do, but what does the Dr. Rath Health Foundation actually do?
Okay, so as Paulina said, the foundation is the non-profit arm of the group of Dr. Rath companies, online work and social media and things. But we also hold conferences and do things like that, and we produce educational materials, and of course the foundation acts as the coordinating organisation for the Movement of Life project, which obviously is something separate again, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But most important of all, so the profits made from other companies in the Dr. Rath group are given to the foundation, which the foundation uses for non-profit purposes, and a key part of that is the funding of research at our research institute in Santa Clara in the United States. And that research is all, of course, relating to natural health approaches using vitamins, minerals, and other essential micronutrients.
Yeah, so that's, well, everybody knows how excited we are to be, you know, in some way connected with the Dr. Rath Health Foundation. So this has been a really exciting journey. You've basically turned everything what HIP wants to do. You've like give it some sort of you know, a little bit more direction, which is we know where we can get that solid information from, and we've been just feeding from you guys and taking as much as we can get, and it has basically instructed most of the other things that, you know, other activities that we're doing. So we're really excited, but we're also excited about the movement of life, and you know, we've seen so many pictures of all the activities that are going on. Tell our viewers a bit about more about the movement of life.
Definitely, it's a part of our foundation. Is the movement that it's bringing the mission and the vision into a movement.
Yeah.
So we work right now closely with our coordinators in Uganda and Nigeria. We're now focusing on the developing countries to help them to understand the importance of vitamins, to help them to find the right source for taking the vitamins from their food, to provide themselves, to provide their families, and to stay healthy. It involves education on cellular medicine. Our coordinators that we're looking for, and the coordinators, basically we have coordinators all around the world, in many countries, but the ones in Uganda and in Nigeria right now, they're the most active, so we are really focusing on activities there in these developing countries, and they create the awareness of the importance of vitamins. They teach children, they help them with the gardening project, which is based on gardening activities within the school health parliaments. So they are creating activities for children so that they can provide themselves and their families the vitamin-rich food. Yes. This is basically the core.
You just mentioned the school parliament.
Yes.
Now we have shared information about what was happening in Uganda. The work there seemed really amazing. Tell us a bit about the school parliament, because that is a unique concept that I've never heard of before until I saw this. When I thought it's definitely something that can replicate all over, especially we have viewers from Ghana and, you know, well, different parts of the Caribbean and in Africa. Tell us a bit about the school parliament.
Yes, so I would like to start with the fact that to make projects like that, you need to really find or be lucky that the right people will find you.
Yeah.
And in the past few years, our organization was working closely with our coordinator in Uganda, Javira, and Javira is a teacher, and actually together, we all together, he was the person who initiated that project. That was his idea to bring into life this school health parliament. Basically, this project involves children forming a parliament among children, which is like a school a council.
Yeah.
But the children have different they have different roles, and they have to act differently. They learn how to be responsible. They learn the different gardening, how to do the gardening activities. They have to be responsible for what they are doing within the school health parliament, and it's basically it's teaching them how to become future leaders among this parliament. But the whole idea behind it is to bring children together, to make them active, to teach them about the importance of vitamins, so still to bring the knowledge about cellular medicine, to teach them how to make their own food, how to bring the exactly. This is children, and yes, and all these other soft skills that they can learn while working with the school within the school health parliament, so that they can use it in the future. And I think personally it's a really great project, and more schools should adapt it. But so far it's working pretty properly in Uganda in this certain city. But we'll definitely work on spreading this message to the other schools. It's definitely worth to copy in the other countries and the other schools.
Yes, definitely. I think, Paul, this morning you mentioned about what Javier was saying about the kids said back to him. Do you want to tell us?
So Paulina and I talk to Javier every couple of weeks. We have a regular call with him where he reports on what he's doing, his activities and challenges and things. And when we talked to him this week, he was saying to us about how the children are really starting to wake up now and question everything, you know, as they are learning about food and they're getting organized and things, and they're learning about health and how health and food and disease are connected and things, cellular medicine. They're really starting to question everything. And he said that he's inspired by the thought that there's 11 schools in Uganda, right? So we're talking hundreds of children. He's inspired by the thought that these children, these questioning now wide open minds, are going to be growing up into adults and taking positions of responsibility in Uganda. And he said, pretty much he was sort of saying that this will be a real factor for change in his country, and how inspired he is by this, you know, the power of what he's doing, you know. And Paulina and I, this was quite a little moment for us. Not that we didn't understand the power of that, but hearing him describe how this project, you know, which we're supporting, working on with him, you know, as he's leading his country, the potential for change in a country, at a country level, it's thought-provoking, to say the very least, isn't it?
Yes. Hearing testimony is always powerful. I mean, the church we talk about, you know, when you share your testimonies, it inspires other people. So actually, you know what you're doing is something meaningful. When to hear the feedback, that is awesome.
Well, I mean, you know, we never forget. Everyone would remember a certain teacher at school who had an effect on you.
Yes.
And you know, was inspiring you to do something or to not do something or to take a certain direction in life. And you know, it's clear that these children will never forget this part of their educational life, you know, and the fact that they will go on and, you know, some of them will express it and use that information in different ways, but there will undoubtedly be some who will take that much, much further, you know. And the thought that there may be young minds who will be able to really take a leading role in changing their country is just fantastic, isn't it, really?
Amazing stuff. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
It's been a pleasure.
Paulina. Thank you guys for watching. Bye now.